RTD Live Talk, Detroit's #1 late night YouTube talk show. We are live for a Monday night live stream. It is the 7th day of the month of December. Excited to be back. Looking forward to sharing some articles as well as checking in with you guys to find out what's happening in your neck of the woods. My name is Mike, the host. Welcome to this live stream. If we have any new viewers out there, feel free to let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to welcome you to the chat, and we can have a good live stream tonight. So got a couple things I want to touch on first, but let me check in via chat real quick. Monkey King's in the building. We got Solo. We got Jim Diggs. We got Bobcat. I said, either Mike, looking forward to your tonight show from Toronto. Okay. And also, I wanted to, I was trying to find an article last minute that talks about the attempt of the finance minister to get those in the top 5 or 1% of the population of wealth to spend some of those funds. So it looks like more nations will be calling for the wealthy to begin unloading some of their funds to stimulate the economy. So couldn't find an article, but I'm curious to find out if you know anything about that. Not your mom in the building. Solo. What else we got here? Tony B in the building. You got Jimmy. We got Tiger Lily. Kamitha. How's everybody doing? Jay. We got T Banger Committee. Okay. Fair amount of people here. And so, a couple of articles I want to touch on, things that caught my attention. FEMA 9. And wanted to find out what else is happening out there. Because, of course, as always, more news than we can cover in one episode, but we'll do the best we can. I'll try to rant less, open up the phone line so you guys can chime in more. And so I noticed over the last couple of weeks, I usually have too many articles I want to touch on. And by the time I get done ranting, I look up, it's like 20 minutes already. So I'm going to try to cut down on that. So I'm going to try to keep it under 10 minutes if I can. But before I dive into that, I want to put it out there. So this upcoming Thursday, looking to have a live auction. And so once again, I'm diving into something new, a way to try to help people to get their weight up in things that's rare and unique, as opposed to those generic rounds and the governmental issued stuff, which of course is all fine and good. But I'm a fan of being able to hold something unique in of itself. So partnering up with Mike over at the MK Bars, and we're going to live stream. And he showed me a stack, all silver and gold. He has a large assortment of unique items from small ones all the way to big statues. So we're going to look to do that on Thursday. So hopefully you guys are interested and wanting to get your weight up a little bit in something different. And so we're going to be learning on the fly. It's my first time trying to do a live auction. I don't know how to do that. Give me 5, give me 10, give me that typical auction talk. So I'm going to play around with it, man. But we're going to have some fun with it. So just want to give you guys a heads up for those that may not be aware. So Thursday, live stream will be an auction. We'll see what we can do with it. All right. Okay, let's keep it moving. I see some Sleepy Joe, Trump 2024. And so, Renee, are people giving up on Trump actually being able to pull out all this, work around all this fraudulent activity and ballot rigging and software glitches and all this stuff like that, or what? I think my wife was reading an article to me earlier about how one mainstream article is saying that it looks like Trump is going down to his Florida estate or whatnot, Mar-a-Lago, and he's going to be down there through the holiday season and perhaps into the new year, and he might not return to the White House. And I'm thinking like, okay, yeah, sure. If I believe that. I don't. But anyway, man. Okay, let's dive right into some articles. So let me pull this up here. So let me go grab this. So just to paint on, how bad things really are. And of course, we got, as of today, they're talking about attempting to try to do some stimulus, whether it be a 1-week budget or a bipartisan stimulus package. And when I saw this article earlier, when I saw this number here, it said roughly 17% of U.S. restaurants have permanently shut down since the start of this pandemic, as industry leaders warn of a unprecedented economic decline. And I'm thinking like 17%, of course, I've keep my eyes open on Twitter all the time. And I see all the stories out there from business owners, especially the young lady in California who was in front of her restaurant, where next door to her restaurant, in the same parking lot, they set up some tense situations for a Hollywood production film or something like that. So she was extremely emotional. as well as the gentleman out in New York who was basically hauled away. They called out, I think, 90 something police officers to keep from opening his business up. And so there's an all out right assault on small business owners. And it appears to be the restaurant industry are the ones that are making the most noise as of now, based upon what I've seen. So I'm sure you guys may have seen some other small business owners out there that's really pissed off and taken to the streets. But the mainstream media they're picking up the small business restaurant owners. And so this number here, roughly 17%. And I looked at that number. I'm thinking, like, that's it's a big number for those who are being impacted directly. So all those small business owners, i.e. restaurants, I can understand how, it's bad. But I'm thinking overall that 17% is extremely small in comparison to where I believe that they would like for it to be. When I mean all the political figures, all the governors, all the people who have bought into the Build Back Better, which is associated with the Great Reset agenda, which is all linked back to the UN, the World Economic Forum, and all those evil entities, their overall evil plan. And so here we talking about stimulus. And so I'm thinking, like, there's talks about stimulus, and I'm of the mindset I don't anticipate seeing any type of stimulus to actually pass through both the Congress and nevertheless get signed. And so 17% is a very low number. And I was thinking, like, what number would the mainstream media love to put out there? Or what ideal number will the politicians feel comfortable with based upon the instructions that they've been given as far as seeing this whole rollout of this great economic reset play it out? Because they need a lot more pain. They need a lot more discomfort. They need a lot more business closures. They need a lot more unemployment. They need extreme dire situations to actually really begin showing that they truly care, as far as them being able to get over that left and right paradigm, that tit for tat stuff on what's in the bill, what's not in the bill. If they really cared about the American people, especially the small businesses, there would have been some stimulus out already. So I don't believe if 1 second that they can't come to an agreement. It's not of importance. And so, because they wanted this thing to ride out some more. So I was thinking, I probably, let me know what you think in the chat. I'm probably anticipating when this number grows to well over 50%, even if this number is right here, when it says roughly 50% of U.S. restaurants have permanently shut down, then at that point, I can see there being a real push, because you're going to have an overwhelming amount of small business owners, restaurant as well as non-restaurant, that will be on mainstream media, that will be out in the streets rioting. And by this time, it could be spring-like, give or take. And at that point, there might be some serious considerations towards them actually looking to stimulate somebody. But once again, no type of stimulus that will be given will actually help these businesses get back on their feet, because you still need customers. And when governors are shutting down, i.e. here in Michigan today, Governor Whitmer extended the 3-week shutdown for another 12 days because she needs to assess the possible case increase that was created from the Thanksgiving holiday season. So once again, I'm anticipating much more pain, roughly 50% more, before we actually get anything substantial that we can hang our hats on, just to, I guess, paper over the situation. So yeah, just something I thought I would touch on. And then here's another thing, this is going to become it's going to be a primary topic come definitely next summer, because by June, according to the Operation Warp Speed, I think by April or May, they're anticipating having available more than 300 million dosages ready to go. And so I know there's a big debate as to if an employer can. And I know for sure right now, because of this FDA emergency measure, they're not allowed to enforce or mandate that your employees take this type of, this jab here. But yet, think about by next summer. And so according to this article here, is some attorneys or lawyers talking in here, and ultimately it boiled down to, it looks like they can. And so whether or not it's valid or not, I don't know, but that's something that's on the forefront, which will also hinder small businesses such as restaurants and all the other employers that might have to follow suit with doing this type of thing, or they don't get any small business PPP loans or whatever, because for all those loans is rolled out, there's going to be some stipulations, which means that you have to comply with what they want, or you don't get funds. And so you got to look at it as to whether or not a lot of these small businesses will be actually taking loans. And so, time is too early, but we'll see. So just something worth talking about. And then here's something else. I thought I would just jump on this right now. So this is the primary talk. Of course, we've been talking about possibilities of relief, stimulus, all types of things, but there might be there's more of an interest in Congress coming together for a temporary, as it says here, a 1 week bill or 1 week package just to get government through to December 18th. And so that is more than likely something that they're going to pass as opposed to a actual bipartisan deal for the people. Because once again, at this current moment, I don't think anything that comes across will actually get signed by Donald Trump, just because I don't think it's of importance to him at this current moment to really stimulate and especially give into what the left or the Democrats want, because their primary focus is on getting funds to the states, especially all those states that are deliberately shutting down and destroying their economies. And so I don't see that going through. And I can see if this whole fraud situation, all the court situations don't pan out for Trump, if it's not able to go to Supreme Court, if it does, I don't know. It's kind of long drawn out now. But if it does not go to Supreme Court or does, I don't see him actually signing anything anytime soon. So with less than, 45, about less than 60 days of his official presidency, I can see him actually not signing anything. Therefore, nothing gets done. So when you see stuff like this, it looks good. It gets people excited. It definitely pumps up the markets, because the markets always respond at the idea of, counterfeit funds coming to rescue the markets. But I don't anticipate anything significant, because when you look at this here is something worth mentioning here. And so we got the COVID-19 relief framework, and this is that bipartisan deal. And so this, the fact that 908, it appears to be something that's mutually acceptable. But yet, once again, looks like a liberals, Democrats, a socialist, a communist Christmas wish list. Like, what's not included in this thing? The fact they're talking about forgiving student loans and all types of things. So here, if you look, there's funds for everybody in here. But the question is, will it actually make it to the people who need it? And of course, the people who need it are actually we the people. Those that article I came across earlier said 85% of those that are impacted, of course, don't have savings. So don't have $500 or something like that. And so those are individuals that can use some funds. But yet, like always, a $1,200 stimulus check won't do anything. And on top of that, the $1,200 stimulus check is not even included in this particular bill here. And so only thing that will benefit those are the unemployed that would get that extra $300 per week. And so as you see here, there's a little bit of everything here. The postal office gets some funds. We got, of course, they want to make sure that there's funds provided for Operation Warp Speed and for states to get the vaccine in everybody's arm. And then we have nutrition and agriculture. And I'm thinking, like, definitely they're not talking about, like, anything that's outside of the COVID health scare. Rental housing assistance, that's going to be definitely needed come January once the moratoriums and stuff end. For education, once again, if all the kids are at home, not quite sure how we need to pump more funds into the public school system, especially. And then, of course, bail out the airlines. And here's that thing right here that will not fly. $160 billion for state, local, and tribal governments. I don't think it's going to work. So, yeah, just a liberal Christmas list, it looks like. But it won't fly. All right. And so just on another note here, here's an article. I'll put it up on the of the idea of coming after those that have worked hard, those that have been the most productive, utilizing a capitalist model of creating and delivering value to the world in exchange for funds. Here we have in Argentina. And so it says millionaires tax. So Argentina actually passes a levy on the super rich to help pay for COVID response. And so this is just Argentina. But yet, as I mentioned before, as I start off today, Canada is also throwing out lingo such as this of needing to get those that are rich or wealthy to begin spending so that they can stimulate the economy themselves, as opposed to sitting on those large amounts of investments and savings. And so here, I think I saw some about 12,000 or so. So it means that those with a personal fortune of over 200 million pesos or 2.4 million, approximately 12,000 people in Argentina will have to pay a one-time tax of at least 2%. But here's the thing. When is anything ever a one-time deal? When do they ever just one time give us 2%? No, 2 going to turn into 5 and a 10. And of course, here's the thing. This is what the majority of people don't know. When you have those that are promoting tax the rich, tax them and take all their funds and give it to the poor and all stuff like that. Those people who promote things like this of stealing from those that have taken advantage of the system that it was designed for everybody to equally be blessed with, but due to a lack of information, knowledge, and stuff like that, a lot of people can't do it. But yet, a lot of the wealthy individuals they've already gotten their money out of the system. And so, other than just real estate, especially I know real estate is big in Argentina. So, other than real estate, there's no funds in the banks. Those people who have large amounts of wealth, they have diversified accounts all over the globe. So they're not really getting much, but it looks good. It makes the politicians look good, and it appeases those that are on the other side of the spectrum that would like to blame capitalism as well as blame those who have simply taken advantage of the system that was provided for all of us. So yeah, man, something real. And then here's the last article here, and I'll stop ranting. Just to show you how bad of a monetary steward the Federal Reserve is. It says the Fed admits to 2.3 trillion in improper payments. And so what does improper payments means? Basically means that the Federal Reserve has given out more funds that they have been able to keep track of to the tune of 2.3 trillion. And so it says since 2004, 20 large federal agencies has admitted to dispersing an astonishing 2.2 trillion in improper payments. And then it says here, what exactly is an improper payment? Federal law defines the term as payments made by the government to the wrong person in the wrong amount or for the wrong reason. So people out here getting funds that wrong person, wrong whatever, as it says here. And here's the top 10 ways that top 10 ways that improper payments have been dispersed. It says in 2019. So 175 in improper payments. By the 20 largest budget, worst programs, clawbacks. We got biggest offenders. And then here it says dead people. 871.9 million in mistaken payments were made to dead people. Ancient Americans. It says 6 million social security numbers are active for people age 112 plus. It says, however, only 40 people in the world are known to be older than 112 people. So 6 million social security numbers of people who are older than 112 years old have been getting payments. So maybe their grandkids or who knows. And then it talks about Medicare, Medicaid programs and stuff like that. So yeah, this is what's, just some of the things that I wanted to highlight tonight, man, just to show you how screwed up things really are on the surface, man. And on top of that, on the macro standpoint, the trade weighted dollar is tanking. And therefore, it's putting more pressure on the other nations, especially those in the basket, because their currencies are appreciating, especially the euro. So I read an article saying that it looks like Christine Lagarde and her crew might have to intervene because they don't want an appreciating currency. So I'm not sure if the U.S. is really mad at having a depreciating currency overall, because that's supposed to be good for our economy to help kick things off again. But you can't have everybody debasing at the same time and there not be some type of confrontation somewhere along the line. So, oh man, okay, let's talk a little bit. All right, so enough of me ranting, man. Let's talk. Let's highlight. Let's give me a call. Let's talk a little bit. And also, I forgot to do something, but for those that want to check in and share a thought or ask a question via video wise, feel free to do so. I'll definitely love to give you a little airplay here. So I'll put this in the chat here. And so you can call in or connect via video and ask a question or two. Anyway, let me get this link up here, and then it'll be available for anybody that want to join via face-to-face. All right. Okay, so enough of me ranting. I'm under 20 minutes, as I promised. So let's talk, man. What else is going on out there? What do you guys keep an eye on? What excites you? What concerns you? I'm curious to find out what you guys think. Let me know. It says, John the 10th man said, who makes up the rich group? And that's the thing. We are told that if you're in the top Forbes, 100, that's the uber wealthy. Those are primarily the business owners. You got the Bezos, the Zuckerbergs, and Microsoft, and all those individuals that are actually rich because they own an overwhelming majority of the shares in their company. And so those individuals there are the uber wealthy, of which they themselves are. They've positioned themselves to be immune to any type of wealth confiscation of that magnitude. But the individuals that's talking about in Argentina, those are the high paid employees. Those are the executives. Those are the doctors, lawyers. Those that one, as it says here, the average person was 2.4 million. So those are the doctors. Those that are, have those specialized skill sets that are probably on the employee side, are already heavily taxed itself. So those are the individuals that are labeled as being rich, typically. And so those individuals in Argentina are the ones that will have to pay that excess tax of 2% for starters, while the business owners, those that have majority of their wealth in the shares of their company, they're the ones they're international. So they have ways of getting out of those type of things. Let me see here. It says there are 8 billion of us, only 250 of them worldwide. Okay, so 250 billion. Amber, what are you referring to of them? Talk about the uber wealthy or what? Tony B says all challenges to a selection is tomorrow. All challenges to selection is tomorrow. TB, what do you mean, my friend? Amber says, how are you doing? You're not crazy. Remember, we're already won. All that have to fear, turd, truth. Okay. Amber, you love putting long paragraphs. Chop it up for me. Keep it sweet and simple. What else we got going on here in the chat? Says Natural Mama, LBP on tonight. Is the LBP? Is it a building? Okay. You can't imagine the unemployment fraud. Oh, yeah. So that's a whole other issue. Yeah. So Kamitha, very good point there. So there's been, think about this, as much currency has been brought into existence over the last, 8 months, 9 months now, to the tune of, 4 trillion, give or take, and plus the 21 missing trillion, all the other stuff that's off books. There's been so much off the balance sheet type book deals and currency that, especially the PPP situation. I think that was it about 200, 300, and of which we don't know nothing about that, where it's gone, who got it. We know that it's on the hush hush, but we have a caller / video check-in. How you doing, Mr. Patrick? How you doing, my friend?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm doing excellent. Where are you checking in from, my friend?
Colorado, Denver.
Colorado. Okay. What's going on in Colorado, my friend? How's everything in your neck of the woods?
Pretty good. I have a question for you.
Give it to me. Go ahead.
So I've been listening to a lot of macro discussions the past couple of weeks, and this is the time in the pandemic that I've heard about this. But people are starting to ask the question why they're going to work, because it's this money is worthless now. It's not worthless, but if you don't have a huge chunk of change, what are you doing going to work? Are you doing it for survival, or are you after that point? There's a diminishing return at that point. A lot over time, and so that's what I'm wondering is diversifying your assets. It seems kind of pointless to go to work at this point.
Yeah, and it's my personal opinion. I don't think we're at that point now, because you still have to provide for yourself. You still have to take care of your immediate needs now, your utilities, and you're living. So until we got a while before the government actually intervenes and call themselves trying to UBI you, or you provide those funds for you. So there's still more than enough incentive to go to work, because right now, everything we are experiencing is the cheapest it's going to be, given the fact after 2021 and beyond, everything's going to be extremely difficult. So work for your future. You're work to provide and to stack up and to save and to put into things that will appreciate in time at the worst case scenario. So I think it's kind of early for people to pull themselves out the market, because, if you got a job, you should be blessed to have one. So yeah, get the paper while you can and put it to use, because pretty soon, more than not, it's not going to be worth much anyway. So you're going to have more than enough time to sit around and do nothing, probably.
Yeah, that's my only question. And I guess the only other thing I'd point out in that is, now people are taking such inordinate amount of risk compared to the gains that they would get.
Yeah.
Unless it's even long-term gains, but other than that, it just seems like there's so much risk to get such a little bit. And then I think traders are going to get wiped out next year. People that started trading this year because of the stimulus are going to have that knack now to want to keep trading. And it's just those gains are getting diminished. So
Yeah, I agree, my friend. And that's the thing. Like right now, for those, as you mentioned, that are jumping in now, they were suckered in. They were suckered in by the free money, quick money, whatever. But yet, those individuals, they don't really have much to lose. I'm more concerned with the passive investors, those that have put their entire lives into the system, and they're expecting to get some type of payout, because there's 74 million baby boomers that are still expecting some payouts, and they might get those payments. But when they get them, will they buy what they need to sustain their livelihood? So those are the ones that concern me. The traders, you're gambling anyway. So if you lose, that's on you. You knew the risk. You should know the risk. But, the passive investors, man, are, mom and pops or grandparents. Those are people I really, really feel for, man.
Agreed.
But hey, bye, Patrick, man. I appreciate you checking in with my friend. Thank you for being bold enough to, show your face on camera. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, be good. Yeah, man. Good stuff, man. I appreciate that. Check in. Feel free to check in if you would like. I would definitely love to hear from you via phone. I missed a couple phone calls as well. Forgive me. Vince Grant, I appreciate the love offer, my friend. Says the dollar is at 90.87. When do you think it'll head below 80 to 70 mark? When and what month, year, and how does digital money play in? Oh man. So great question, man. And that's where, when it comes to the trend of the trade weight dollar at this current moment, because of the deflationary pressures, because of all this debt implosion and lack of payments and things of that nature, I think it can continue to go downward. But yet, once again, we're measuring it. We're using that particular measurement there based upon 6 other currencies, I believe it is. So in our total basket, there's a bunch of other currencies that are also experiencing the same thing. So I don't think it's more so what, when, where. I think it's the other countries. So like, for example, Japan, the euro, all those nations, their currency is appreciating. Therefore, they're now experiencing a pinch. So they're going to do some type of crazy monetary stimulus toolkit injection type of thing, which will then in return probably send that back towards the dollar, where the dollar may start appreciate. So it's a seesaw of debasement to the bottom. So when it comes to trying to predict all those type of things, I don't know. I know that one thing, as I always say, at the end of the day, the Federal Reserve note will be your biggest liability. So in between now and that time frame, do what you do. Try to enjoy the idea of being able to purchase some things that that you still enjoy. Get your weight up on the side. If you're a speculator, speculate with the idea of hopefully getting some gains, and just be patient, because I think right now, no matter what happens, the toolkit is probably not even really been deeply dived into. So Jerome Powell this upcoming year, whether it be the yield curve or buying more of anything, directly buying the equities market outright or whatever else, the toolkit is about to unleash after January 1st, I believe. So they're going to do something crazy. So that's my 2 cents, Vince, on that situation there. So hope that was of help of some kind. All right, give me a call. Let's talk. Or via check-in, via face-to-face. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And I see some talk about metals. And so, yeah, I noticed today, I looked at the markets this morning, and there was, as soon as the markets opened, it was an immediate slam down to 23 or some, or 24, 23. And then I looked back at it again. It's like 24, almost 25, something. Like definitely those dips and those recoveries are becoming, greater at that. And so they're attempting to try to slam down the price somehow, some way. I heard something about the LBMA trying to do some activity with out in the Asian market, kind of trying to disrupt some things out in the Asian market. So not sure what that's all about, but those dips are not as drastic as they used to be. So we might have found the floor for silver for now. And here it might be hitting that $30 an ounce pretty soon in silver. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Mike, Tony from Oakland.
TB, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm not bad, my friend. What's going on with you out in Oakland, man?
Oh, I just want to resolve this whole thing about the selection.
Uh-huh.
If you go to National Archives,
mm-hmm.
and scroll down and look up for the electoral, and they'll tell you step by step what is happening. They even tell you that your vote don't count. That what you're doing is you're voting on the selection that the current president and potential president have selected 538 people in order to vote for them.
Yeah. So
you know, and excuse me, and they have to have all cases, all challenges resolved by tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not resolved by tomorrow, it ain't gonna get resolved because that's the deadline for it. That's probably why Trump is saying that he may have ran out of time.
Yeah.
And then they just got this lull period until the 14th, and the 14th they vote.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows who they voted for, but of course, you know, typically you put a man in there that's going to vote for you.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't get read out to the Senate until the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll know who won after tomorrow, because that's the one that's going to be screaming the loudest.
and as of now, but here's the thing, you know, because the mainstream media and big tech and everybody else has already crowned Biden the next president. If there was something other than what was already being portrayed as, you know, Biden already having won, we wouldn't hear about it. Like they damn sure would not announce that Trump, you know, this, that, whatever. Trump actually won. I don't think it would even get any airplay whatsoever, because they would want to keep that narrative of Biden select, you know, is continuing on into January 20th. So I don't think the mainstream media would touch on it, even if it was in favor of Trump.
Trump's got a Twitter page that they don't censor, so he'll put it out on his Twitter page, and they'll just say it hasn't been verified, but, you know, it's whoever screams the loudest.
Yeah. So basically, be on the lookout tomorrow for whoever screams the loudest.
It'll be after tomorrow. They'll have to do it. They'll have to vote tomorrow, so it'll probably be like the 9th or the 10th before you actually hear about it.
Yeah. Hey, well, I would definitely keep my ears open. I'm sure we're going to hear about it more and more from social media all across, and especially don't be surprised if Trump's Twitter go down as well. So.
Yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know I found that on National Archives, so they can actually go up and research it themselves.
Bet I'm gonna pull it up. So National Archives. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. Let me pull it up. So National Archives is it just any other?
I just scrolled through it.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find it for you.
Or if you find it, throw it in the chat for me, because I want to dig it in. I want to dig into it real quick. I just click on it and watch and scroll through it myself.
It's the National Archives and Records is where I found it at.
And records. Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right, my man. Appreciate you.
Be good.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Just listen for whoever screamed the loudest. So I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts on that. And records. Let me try to pull this up real quick. I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts on this. Are you anticipating something to be promising for Trump, or is he low-key throwing in a towel, or what? Hello, caller. Which name are you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, Mike? This is Miles from NY.
Miles from NY. What's going on, my friend? How's everything out in your neck of the woods?
It's getting worse and worse, man, you know, but they're doing a good job of covering it up, keeping the masses dumbing. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
People are waking up, man. I've been having conversations with people at work, and, you know, they've been kind of initiated. They know something's up, you know. They don't know exactly what or the process of it, but, you know, everything's not well, and, you know, they can smell it. So I think they all underestimate the people, and, you know, people, when it comes to people starving to death and things like that,
mm-hmm.
you know, you'd be surprised how quick people could wake up, even if it is too late, you know.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say it's too late until you're dead, you know, but you know what I wanted to drop on you, Mike? I just sent you a link, man. The coronavirus 2.0.
Yeah,
dropped
okay.
it, man. They dropped it off in India, man. Them boys, they getting hit out there. Seizures, all types of stuff they have from this new one, man. I sent you a link for it. Check it out, man.
Yeah, let me.
I think that's where they're gonna initiate it, out in India, because they're saying they can't identify it, and they don't know what's going on with it. And it's the first day that they're putting it out there in the news, so they probably don't ran it and, you know, did what they have to do, and now it's out, and they're letting it run through the people. A big population like that, man, you know, that's a perfect way, just like China, you know, but just on the other side where they wouldn't expect it. But check that link out, man. You see, it's like eye-opening.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to get your take on, you know, I keep thinking that the feds, you know, they're going to blow it up, and they're going to just let everything fail. I think they're going to let everything fail once they finish blowing up, and just take people's assets from there, man, you know, and then transfer it over to the World Economic Forum from that point on. A lot of people don't think they'll do that, but I think they'll start people out, not give them a stimulus waiver, you know, tell them you got to have a shot in order to get it, something like that. But in the end, all these assets that they're buying up, the feds and all this stuff, I think they're just going to turn all of that right over.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to sell the property back. They're not going to do it. They're going to keep it and become the landlords of the earth, man.
Yeah.
But hey, I don't want to hear too much of your time. Like, keep going. Do
Appreciate
what you do, man. And, you know, we got your back. Man.
Appreciate you, my man. Thanks, Miles. Be good, my friend. Yeah, man, good stuff. So he touched on a lot there, and let's touch on this mystery illness first. I mean, this is interesting because what first thing came to mind when I saw that in the chat and when he mentioned that is that I remember watching a little short snippet of Bill Gates saying that this first illness is serious, but they're not taking his first illness. They're not taking his first situation serious, but what's coming next is going to be serious. And so when he said that. And I wish I could find the clip, but he literally said, you know, they're not taking it serious, but yet what's coming, they're going to have to take serious. I'm thinking I'm like, huh? Like, hold on, how would you profit now? Or you deliberately got a sequence, a phase. So phase 1 was COVID-19. Phase 2 is whatever this mystery illness was. And then they got a couple phases. And mind you, as I've mentioned several times before, for those that might not be familiar with it, is that this entire decade from 2020 to 2030-ish is their time frame to execute this world shift into this reset. And so between now and then, we're going to see all types of reoccurrences of, you know, whether it be COVID-19 virus strain, or SARS, COVID-19, whatever that is, or any type of mystery illnesses that they throw out there. So, and that's what a lot of people, and I'm coming across more and more myself, of people saying that, man, I just can't wait for the vaccine to get out here. And I can't wait to, you know, this is over with so we can get back. I'm thinking like, man, like at this point of the game, it's nothing I can tell them, no books I can show them, no people I can interview to open up their eyes to the fact that this is not just like a 9-month, 10-month event. Like this is going to be an ongoing situation that will unfortunately become more and more uncomfortable because those who don't believe or those who do not buy into it, we're going to be painted as the enemy. And speaking of the enemy, let me show you here. I forgot to pull up an article. Let me see if I can find it. Did I actually even share it with myself? I'm going to share with you a big reason as to why those that stand for freedom and truth and less government, because let me see, I'm going to show this because I just came across this today. And when you see stuff like this, when you see articles like this, the DNC member rants, deprogram 75 million Trump supporters. And so when you see stuff like this, where you have a politician, I'm not sure what his status is, but he's a member of the DNC. It says, no, seriously, how do you deprogram 75 million people? We have to start thinking in terms of post-World War II Germany or Japan, or the failures of Reconstruction in the South. And so when you got people talking about concentration camps and stuff like that, and then on top of that, this number here, 75 million, I would imagine at this current moment, there's a lot more than 75 million people who are constitution loving, less government wanting, freedom of speech, it's a lot of individuals here who love this country, a lot of quote unquote patriots. There's a lot more than 75 million. And of course, they're using that number based upon who supposedly voted for Trump. But yet, once again, if Joe Biden got 80 million, he beat Obama's numbers. And once again, nothing really shows proof of those 80 millions other than, some glitches and some paper ballots and stuff like that. So they could easily be, you take that 80 plus this 70 here, those type of figures. Then you have a lot of individuals that are due for some deprogramming. And so what does it mean to deprogram will be my question for you guys, because how do you deprogram a population? And the first thing that comes to my mind is you have to break down the entire population to the bare knuckle, to their bare knees, to where they absolutely have no type of morale, no type of hope or confidence in the judicial system and the political system and in law and order or anything, to where they are literally down to just straight up, just pure anger and hate, to where through that you can paint them as being the enemies. Therefore, you can call we need some type of military intervention for these radicalist type of things. So everything's going to be reversed on those that just love their country, those that don't want to be a part of a great reset, those that don't want the jab in the arm. You know what I'm saying? Those individuals are becoming the enemy. And they're saying, and so once again, like the fact that this was put out there, and I think it's a couple weeks old, but this didn't receive any outrage from what I saw from people on the left saying, no, we're not going that far. No, they didn't say anything about it. So this is in our game plan, these type of activities. And of course, I believe a part of that will be through Operation Warp Speed. I think at the end of the day, Operation Warp Speed will be that usage of military boots on the ground activity to begin the real agenda of making sure, because as of right now, things are optional. They're trying to say you have the choice, you don't have to, but yet when you got articles saying that employers will make you do it, that's one avenue. And then all the companies, all the institutions that receive government funds will also be required to require jabs in the arms and certification of that. So once again, you cut out all the avenues for people to live their everyday lives. That's the primary way of pissing a lot of people off, painting them as being the bad guys when most people just don't want to participate at the end of the day. So yeah, man, but I'm curious to find out what you guys think about this mystery illness that Mr. Miles brought to the table. Because I think once again, I saw Joe Biden during his little campaign trail that he mentioned that this is going to be a dark winter. And then I heard somebody mention today that during Dr. Fauci during his joint press conference with Cuomo out in New York or whatever, that he mentioned some type of thing about a dark winter. It's going to be a real dark winter. So I'm thinking like, hell, it gets dark early out here, but how dark are you talking about it getting really? So anyway, I'm curious to hear what you guys think, man. Feel free to give me a call, or for those that are brave and bold enough, want to check in and share your 2 cents via face-to-face. Here's the link right here for you guys to join in. We'd love to hear from you or see you. All right, I see somebody popping in. Mr. LBP. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, Mike, how's it going? Can you hear me?
I'm doing good. How you doing, man?
Good. I was trying to put the baby to sleep, but they just don't want to sleep, You
gotta get your baby a camera and tell him to join us, man.
Yeah. He's just waiting for Santa. He don't want to miss him.
I understand. He's a little early though.
Yeah, I know. They got a different calendar. I don't know what they're doing.
Hey man, give me your thoughts on this mystery illness, man. Like, is this something for real, or is this like another mainstream media scare tactic? What do you think?
You know what, Mike? I haven't even looked into it. What the guy say it was in India? Read me a little bit about it.
So in India, it looks like there's some type of mystery illness, and I guess it's just starting to hit the airways. And so it says at least one person has died, and 200 others have been hospitalized due to a unidentified illness in the southern Indian state of Andhra Pradesh. So other than just this initial information here, it's mystery. So that's enough to cause a lot of people to be like, "Ooh, is this for real, or is this an evolved version of COVID, or what?" But it's, as of right now, it's just it's out there as another scare tactic. But what do you think, man? Is this that dark winter that everybody talking about we could have?
I don't know. In India, it doesn't get cold, so it's hot all year round. So I don't know.
Oh man, good stuff, man. What else is going on in your world, man?
Nothing, Mike. It's just working late. But what was I gonna tell you? What's going on with these stimulus checks, Mike? I need some money.
LBP, you are not getting another stimulus. Let it go.
They're ready to give everybody money but us. They're like, oh, well, they talked about all that money that was in the Fed. They're going to give it to the Treasury, redirect it, and put it up who knows where. But they're not going to give it to us.
LBP, let's make this just turn up the game a little bit. Let's add in the gentleman here. And, LBP, I'll let you do a little question asking, man. Go ahead, interview him for me.
All right. What's your station? Where you calling from?
How's it going?
How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for checking in with us, man. What's on your mind tonight?
I'm just chilling in Seattle, man, and just chiming in here, just watching the show.
how are things out in your neck of the woods? Is Chaz still up and running, or that little autonomous zone? Or they shut that down, or what? I ain't heard nothing about that.
That was dead already. I mean, these people out here. I'm not from here. I'm from New York City, but living in Seattle, it's weird, man. People, I don't know if you've ever been on the West Coast or
I've not been to Seattle. No.
Yeah, it's a different vibe altogether. I mean, I know I've been all over the country, toured about and met a bunch of people and lived a bunch of places my whole life. But Seattle is definitely one of the most frigid places socially. You can't even believe it. And it's hard to meet people. It's hard to kind of vibe with people here. It's really not like East Coast or other places that we're used to. Low blood pressure. Where do you live?
I live in Corpus Christi, Texas.
Oh, wow.
Texas. Everybody here is friendly. Everybody's on vacation 24/7 here,
Yeah.
It's a much slower pace.
Up here, it's really sleepy, kind of. I mean, it's beautiful here. It's amazing, actually. But if you don't know anybody, it's a little weird. So
yeah,
that's what's happening.
Man. Well, I appreciate you checking in with us, my friend. It's always good to connect with the community. So thanks for tuning in, my friend. Appreciate you.
No, thanks for having me.
Yeah, be good.
All right.
LBP, we got somebody else, man. You feel like hanging out with me for a little bit or what?
Yeah, I could talk as long as my kids don't be quiet,
So we got somebody in the dark here, Mr. Albert.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. I got the lights off over here. All right, so I got a theory. Turn some lights on.
Right,
I got a theory.
Go ahead.
Trump's going to run again in 4 years, right? So he runs again in 4 years. Yeah, I'm old. So he runs again in 4 years. I have this feeling that he's going to leave a scorched earth behind for Biden and Camilla to have to deal with. Now, you just hear me out on this, because if he does that and he makes the situation so dire that they spend just about 4 years trying to fix things, it might be an easy shoo-in for him to run for president again. But and I'm not going one way or the other.
How do you define fix things? Because the only thing they're going to do is run major deficits, paper over everything, and just economically destroy everything. How can he come in at that point would be the question, and not do the same thing.
Well, I don't understand. How can Biden come in?
So if Trump leaves at this current moment, leaves everything a mess. Biden comes in, Green New Deal, 9-10 trillion up first. They start just monetizing everything and buying up everything and just destroying everything. Inflation picks up. How could Trump come in 2024 and make things better? Because at this current trend,
I don't think he'll come in and make anything better. But first off, this fiasco started in 2008, so that's we got into a world of crap back then.
Yeah,
and rather than take the pain quickly like we should have, 18, maybe 24 months of it after the first crash, everybody tighten their wallets, everybody, look out, be fiscally smart. We didn't do that. We staved off the pain with mountains of QE. Now all that money is basically still just sitting around. That's something totally different. But my back to what my theory is that I think before Trump leaves, he's going to create something way bigger that they're going to have to focus on. You understand what I'm saying? Like maybe start
something like what?
So
like look at the Iranian nuclear scientists. You all hear about that?
Yeah. That was supposedly Israel, wasn't it?
Yeah, but look at the technology they were using, man. Satellites, remote control machine gun, and a remote control car. I mean, that's reeks of CIA.
Okay, but the Israeli special forces, I think they're probably more superior than the CIA because Israel has turned into a technology hub lately. So I'm sure the Israelis are sitting on some technology that's more advanced than what we got.
Yeah, I'll give you that, but I don't know. I really don't know. But my gut feeling is that Trump's going to look. Back when the Taj Mahal was being built, I used to live in Jersey. I was born and raised in Jersey. I live in New Orleans right now. Back when the Taj was being built, I was a subcontractor, and Trump stiffed the contractor, which basically then told me, "Hey, I ain't got the money. I can't pay you." So I'm like, "Well, screw that. I'm going to wait for this dude." Now he wasn't anybody important then, and I did. I caught up with him, and the dude told me flat out, on my mother's eyes, I swear this. He goes, "It was $846." He told me, he says, "Sue me. It'll cost you more to sue me than it will for me to pay you."
So that's what I tell the credit card companies.
Right on. But
Hey,
no,
Albert,
I just still
go
ahead, man.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought. Go ahead.
I still just think Trump's gonna remember when W came into office and they popped Junior Bush and they popped all the W's off all the keyboards. Remember hearing that story?
I never heard that.
I wasn't too in tune back then.
Well, they did because it was a way because George Bush Sr. was there, and who was after him? Clinton, right? And then it was Bush Jr.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Clinton administration, folks in that administration, I'm not saying it came from him, but they ran around to all the keyboards and popped all the W's off. So if you try to, it'd be George Bush.
I heard they stole the furniture. You hear the one where they stole the furniture? And I think they stole George Washington's dishes.
I hear that
probably showed up on eBay.
These are priceless. Hey, Albert, man, I appreciate you checking in with us, my friend. All right,
guys.
Hey, let me say a point, Mike.
Yeah, go ahead.
What he was saying, I don't think Trump's going to do anything. I think it's over, especially if, look, Trump has access to more knowledge than me and you and this entire planet combined. And he didn't see this supposed, voter fraud, and he could have got ahead of it and done something about it. But he does nothing. And now he's going to cheerlead that something happened.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's done. It's over. All we could do now is prepare and have a backup plan because we might have to abandon ship.
I'll keep some hope. I'm not expecting anything, but I'm not like it's all over with and said and done because I'm still of the mindset that anything could happen. I don't know what. I hope something does happen, but if it doesn't, I'm not like holding my breath waiting. So, you want to take a call with me at Mr. Low Blood Pressure?
Yeah, Mike. But look at they printed 20-something%, like 25% of all monies has just been done this year. So the damage is already done. The house is already on fire. There's nothing we can do now.
I think 25% is still they got another 75% on their hands that they can run. They can slowly produce out in the next couple of months and years. So they gonna buy them some time. But hello, caller. Which name are you calling from?
Hey man, it's Felix from Santa Monica, checking you and LBP out.
How you doing, man? What's on your mind tonight?
LBP, what? I want to know how you got such a good attitude, man, with all that credit card debt, baby.
Because you gotta look. I got baby blood pressure. Let me show you guys baby blood pressure. Can you guys see him? Hold up. Say hi.
LBP Jr.
Baby blood pressure.
That kid, man. That kid is on it. So let's talk about metal just for a second. Where are we going with this?
Let me answer about the credit card.
Good kid.
All right, go ahead. He's gonna touch on the credit card situation for you real quick.
Look, this is why I don't. Okay, this is why I don't feel bad about owing banks money. Because when you borrow from another human being, they trading you money that was reached with labor for labor, right? So if I borrow money from you or somebody else, I feel terrible if I can't pay it back. But the bank did no effort to make that money, Imagine, I don't default, but one day, and I won't feel bad about it because they didn't give me anything, so I don't owe them anything. Maybe I give them 1 ounce of silver for 50, 30. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I get it.
Understandable, man.
I'm gonna run my credit limit now, man. I'm going to add.
It's up to you, but just look. This is what I do: get 0% interest for 18 months. Max that baby out. And wait a while, and with manageable, not something where you're not going to be able to eat or pay your mortgage. Don't be crazy. And roll it over to another credit card and pay. Some have zero balance transfer. Some have 3%. Well, bite the bullet, pay the 3%. Buy yourself another 24 to 18 months, and just keep doing that.
I got you.
That's the LBP way.
You gotta have your own channel, bro. It's like. The credit master, LBP.
You hear that?
I'm not really that much. It's simple, It's not like the big boys like Trump and billionaires. They get money at 0% interest. Those are the guys that need to be. You need to emulate them. I still have to pay high interest. Once the 0% introductory rate, it goes away. So
yeah. Well, hey, caller,
I got you, man.
I appreciate you.
That's being smart.
Appreciate you calling, my friend. Thanks for the question from Mr. LBP.
Yeah, keep it up, Michael.
All right, we will do. Oh man, good stuff. The LBP, yeah. All right, man. So we having some fun, man. I appreciate you hanging out with me a little bit. It's always good to be able to interact with somebody directly, as opposed to talking to myself in the screen. But we'll do one more call, and then I'm getting ready to dial back for this evening. And Mr. LBP, you joining us for the auction on Thursday?
Oh, what's that about? I read a little bit about it.
I'll give you the update. 1 second. Let's take this call. Hello, caller. Where are you calling from?
Mike, low blood pressure. Tim, Colorado.
Tim, Colorado.
Tim, Colorado. Hey, it's good to finally talk to you.
What's going on with you, Tim?
Oh, not too much. But I agree with the last caller. Low blood pressure seems to show up in the comments everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that guy. And he needs to start his own podcast because I'm in, baby.
LBP
I don't got time. Look, Tim, I work a 9 to 5, and then really it's 6 to 6. I got 6 kids, a wife. I need a little time for them. And then then you need editing and all that kind of stuff. Maybe when my son gets a little older, But I'm not. Be quiet. But I got no privacy right now. I'm in the restroom.
You're a gas. I love finding you around, man.
Hey, Tim,
I'm a normal guy. I'm not really this funny. I'm a pretty boring person, Just I don't know.
Just until the lights, until the lights and camera come on.
Okay, you guys have a great night, man.
Appreciate you, my friend. Be good, Tim.
Hey, all right, Tim. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, man. All right, Mr. LBP, about to get ready to dial back, man. I appreciate you hanging out with me a little bit, sharing your 2 cents and laughing with me a little bit. But no. So what I was gonna say was the gentleman who makes the RTD rounds, who's out in California, we're going to collab a little bit and do a auction. So I just want to be able to provide opportunity for people to get their weight up. So he's going to have coins, rounds, statues, bars, gold, silver, everything, all custom made stuff. And so on Thursday, we're going to just connect, and he's going to show off some of his art pieces, and we'll just see who's interested, man, and just put it out there and see if anybody wants to get their weight up a little bit outside of the generic, and the governmental stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's all. But this Thursday, we're going to do a live stream. That's it. That's all I'm talking about.
All right. He take credit card, Mike?
I think it'll be PayPal. Yeah. So I think through PayPal. Sure. Yeah. PayPal. I think PayPal, Cash App, and Zelle. So yeah, that's how the payment will be received. So it's going to all be through him or whatever. And some of the proceeds support the channel as well. So, but should be a fun time, man. I'm looking forward to try to get my auction on a little bit. So
I'll check it out, Mike.
All right, man.
Hey, let me know a little bit about you, Mike. Let me interview you.
Okay, go ahead. Sure.
All right. You live in Detroit, right? You've been there your whole life?
Born and raised, man. Born and raised. I don't plan on dying here, though.
Wow.
Yeah. So I and over the years, so I grew up in the inner city, man, and was blessed through this gift of basketball. So through basketball, had a chance to get a lot of free schooling, and from that, play professional, travel a little bit, and expand my horizons. And that's how the whole idea of thinking outside the box came into play with rethinking a dollar. Because, you get paid in pesos and coronas and Swiss francs and all that stuff like that. You start asking questions like, how come, it's so expensive here and it's so cheap here? And so, yeah, came back to America when I stopped playing and, was still curious as to what is a dollar, dog? Like, got my degree in business. I'm like, I never learned about that in economics, really. So, yeah, that's how I kind of got started in this whole game, man.
So you live where you say in Iceland and different places?
Yeah, so I lived in Iceland, Switzerland. I did a little short stint in Mexico. I did Chile, Argentina, tournament in Venezuela. So yeah, majority of my time was spent down below the equator, man. And I fell in love with it. So I try to go down there as much as I can.
You were single then?
No. I had my oldest, so me and the wife. She traveled with me. So
don't too much party.
I was a good boy.
All right, if you want to, I'll talk a little bit about myself. If people want to know about me.
Feel free, man. Go ahead.
All right. Look, I was born outside of Chicago, in a little town called Aurora in Illinois. Yeah. And my parents moved around. I went to high school in El Paso, Texas. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I, joined the Army, did a little traveling in New York and up in the East Coast. And then I went back to El Paso, didn't really like it too much. So I moved to Corpus with my job. I did a transfer.
Yeah.
And now I live here.
Sweet. So is corporate going to be home, or do you have aspirations of moving beyond, or just going to play this whole scenario out of what's going on around you?
Maybe after retirement, if that's even a thing. But I think I'm probably going to stay here because I'm pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
But we'll see. You never know.
That's real. That's real, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you for sharing a little bit of who LBP is with the audience. And so you're a crowd favorite, man. So I appreciate you for blessing me with your time tonight. It's always good to connect with you, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me on. And thanks for the channel.
Oh, for sure. I enjoy it, man. It's a way to
And everybody get the shirt. Everybody look, get the shirt.
Appreciate it, LB. Oh, man. All right. So that's it on our hour point, man. As always, it's good to hang out and laugh a little bit. And so I would like to do more connecting with the audience like this and give you guys a chance to come on and share your thoughts and whatnot. And just, be there for one another in these interesting times that we're in. So other than that, everybody, hope you enjoyed the live stream tonight. If you did, give it a thumbs up, as well as for those that might be new to the channel, I got all the free resources down beneath and whatnot. And of course, come back on Thursday for that auction. Looking forward to having a nice little auction to go around and hopefully give people a chance to get their weight up in different forms. So other than that, people, I appreciate your time this evening. Be blessed, be safe. Be back tomorrow, Lord willing. And I got some good interviews coming up, so you guys should, definitely enjoy those. But other than that, if you want to support the channel beyond the interview or beyond the thumbs up, as well as the viewership, feel free to become a Patreon. And so another thing is, I forgot to mention, for those that are part of the Patreon, so we're going to do free shipping domestically for those that are part of the Patreon. So if any of the patrons out there, if you order, if you bid on something, you win it, and then free shipping for the patrons. So just a little opportunity to be a blessing to those that have blessed me. So anyway, people, be blessed, be safe, and see you tomorrow, Lord willing. Peace. Hey there, sorry for this interruption, but I wanted to bring something to your attention. If you've been enjoying this live stream, why don't you partner with me and be a support to the channel via Patreon membership for just a minimum of $5 a month. All you have to do is scroll down beneath this video here, click the Patreon link, then consider donating as little as $5 a month towards the channel. A little bit of crumbs can go a long way, and I appreciate your support. Now, let's get back to this live stream.